Hey guys, in my last video I explained about the fundamentals of Western classical, what is C major, and how we have to integrate the fingering, and what is the exact position, and how we have to play the particular scales called C major and A minor. So in this video, I'm going to explain about two things in particular. The one will be the tones and semitone. The tones and semitone is the relationship between the black keys and white keys. The white keys is called natural keys, or what I've explained in the last video. On this video, I'm going to explain about the sharp and flat keys. The sharp and flat keys are the names which has been used to term the black keys. Okay, so in this video, I'm going to explain about what is tone and semitone, what is the relationship between the black and white keys, and also the name of the black and white keys. So in that sense, it will be easy for you to play any kind of scale from major to minor. And also, what is the exact figure that you have to play each songs in particular. So let's go for the lesson now.
In this video, I'm going to explain about what is the name of this black keys, which is between the white keys what we have played in the last video. So what is this name of this black notes, and also I'm going to explain what is the name. The name starts with sharp keys and flat keys. For example, if you are going to start any keys, like you're going any keys forward. For example, if you're going forward from C to D, in between we have this note, so that will be called as C sharp. And also, for an example, between D note and E note, we have a particular note called this black note. So that black note name will be D sharp. So appropriate like this, we have a series of 2 black keys here and 3 black keys here. So what is the exact notes and how you will be differentiating? Like we have 2 sharp keys here and 3 sharp keys. First note C and the next note will be D. In between the C and D, we have a note here. So let's assume it as an half a kilometer. So that is called an half note in Western classical. And it doesn't have any note in between it, right? For example, you're going from E note to F note. In between, you doesn't have any black keys like half note here. So that will be called whole note. Okay, so I'm going to explain the differentiation about the whole note and half a note. For example, if you're going from C to D, you have a black keys here, so that is called an half a note. So in that sense, it's called a tone. So that will be tone note. For example, if you're going to D to E and in between you have 1 sharp keys here, so that will be called as tone. For example, if someone is asking you to play C D, so that is called a tone note because you have a black keys in between it. So that is called a sharp or flat keys. And also, if someone is asking you to play D and E note, we have a sharp keys in between it, so that is called a tone note. And here, between E note and F note, it doesn't have any notes in between, right? So in that sense, whenever the note which you doesn't have any notes in between, for example, this is E and this is F, like what this note, no? From C to D, you have C sharp here. Like that, in E to F, it doesn't have any black notes here. So in that sense, it will be called as semitone. Whenever you're playing, for example, if you take this B and C, in between, you doesn't have any black keys here. So in that sense, it will be called as semitone. So this will be called as tone because you have black keys in between, and also it will be called as tone because you does have black keys in between. It doesn't have any notes in between this T note. I mean this 2 notes. So that is E and F. So that is called as semitone. And this is tone because you have black keys in between. Tone, black keys in between. And this is also tone from A to B because you have B flat here. And B to C, that is called a semitone. Okay, because you doesn't have any black keys in between. And now I'm mentioning it as black keys, sharp keys and flat keys. Now I'm going to explain what is the exact name of this black keys. For example, this will be C and this should be C sharp, and this is D and this one will be D sharp. For example, if you're going backward from any note, for example this is E and you're going backward from this E note, no, that will be called as flat. I'm going to explain how it is, because there are 2 kind of thing what you're going to consider here. One will be sharp keys and another one will be flat keys. But the black note itself is called as sharp keys and the black note itself is called as flat keys. Okay, so what is the difference between that? what all the note that you're playing from one note to another. For example, if you're going to play any note, like forwarding any note from one to another. For example, this is C and you're forwarding one half a note from C, so that will be called as C sharp. And this is D and you're forwarding one note, you're forwarding one note from this particular D note, so that will be called as D sharp. And this cannot be called as any sharp. I'll be explaining it later. And in spite of it doesn't have any black notes here, I'm going to F note now. And this F note, you are forwarding one note, you are forwarding an half a note, no, because I have asked you to assume this black note as half a note, okay? So in that sense, we are forwarding one note from F note to next note, so that will be called as F sharp. And you are forwarding one note from G to next note, so that will be called as G sharp. And then from A, you are forwarding one note, so that will be called as A sharp. And from B to C, you doesn't have any half note, right? We have only two white notes here. So in that sense, you doesn't have any black keys, so that will be called as semitones, okay? Because you doesn't have any white keys or black keys in between two notes, so that in that sense that will be called as semitone. So this is tone, you have black key, tone, you have black key, semitone, you doesn't have any notes in between, so that in that sense it will be called as semitone. And this will be tone, you have black keys in between, and this will be tone because you have black keys in between, and this will be tone because you have black keys in between, and this is called semitone. So I'm reducing one half a note, so that will be called as flat. Just keep that in mind, that will be called as flat, not sharp. Whenever you are backwarding an half note or any note from one note, so that will be named as flat notes. So this will be B, so on that family, this will be called as B flat, neighboring notes. People will be calling it as neighboring note as a musician. So the next note will be A, and the neighbor note, when you're backwarding this note, this will be called as A flat, and this will be G, and this note will be calling it as G flat, okay? So this is F, and you doesn't have any notes in between, any black notes in between. So I'm moving to E, and this will be E, and the notes, and we are backwarding this note from one note to another, so this will be called as E flat, because this is E. The neighbor note will be called as E flat, and the next note it is called D, and this will be called as D flat, and the last note will be C, the parent note. So that is C, C sharp, D, D sharp, E, F, F sharp, G, G sharp, A sharp, B, C. And now I'm going to backward the notes. I'm going to explain about the flat notes now. So this is C, and you doesn't have any notes in between. So let's start from B. So that is B, B flat. Since we are backwarding the note, you'll be naming it as flat note. So that is B, B flat, A flat, G, G flat, F, E flat, D flat, C. I'm repeating now. So that is B, B flat, A flat, G flat, F, E flat, D flat, C. So it will be like moving on and on for appropriate octave, okay? So that should be constructive. It is constructive, but in that sense, and what all the position that you are playing C, you'll be naming it as, when you're forwarding a note, that will be called as C sharp. So that is C sharp, D sharp, F sharp, G sharp, A sharp, and you're backwarding the note, that will be called as, from B we are starting, so that is B flat, A flat, G flat, E flat, D flat.
Hey guys, thank you for the comment that you guys have given me for all these days, and I've uploaded the second video as a tutorial on how to play the piano as beginners, and you can see the link of the YouTube channel in my description right here. So once again, thank you for all the wishes. Thank you. Cheers.